Welcome to a very interesting talk with Thomas Schauffert. Today we are in Switzerland, Basel, in his studio, and we will talk about his travel through the power of sound and his creation of music. So Thomas, thank you that you took your time to tell about your 35 years of creating music, about your art. So let me start with a very interesting question. You are an electrical engineer. So how come that you become a professional musician?
It all started in 1964 when I was born in a small village close to Basel in Switzerland. And at the age of 3 or 4, when I started to realize that there is a TV, at that time it was still a black and white TV, I saw Louis Armstrong playing trumpet on the TV. And when I saw this, he playing the trumpet, I knew exactly I wanted to play the trumpet too. I was very fascinated. I did study all the other big trumpet players at that time. And then at the age of 8, I started to play the trumpet. I did this until I was about 14 years of age, and I did quite well. My level was okay, and I did play in some orchestras also, brass orchestras at that time. And then at the age of 14, I also started to play a lot of tennis. And at that age, I was really good in playing tennis, and I forgot about the music, more or less. I left it aside because they said I should focus on playing tennis and becoming a professional tennis player. So I did train 4 times a week, and then on the weekend I had tennis tournaments. But then at the age of 17, I felt that I'm missing music. So I was looking around, how can I make music in a simple way? And I found the harp, the blues harp.
So why the blues harp?
Blues harp and the chromatic harp, because this is an instrument which you can learn more or less easy. You don't have to develop the sound, you can just blow into the instrument. And it's easy, and you can take it everywhere with you. When you are in the training, tennis tournament, whatever, you can play a little bit harp. And with the trumpet, it's not so easy because you really need to train your lips, you need to train the sound and so on. So that's more hard. Mm-hmm. You really need training. So the blues harp was fine. I learned this pretty well. Later on, then I did also play the blues harp on big concerts, in some songs, of course, not all the time. And then music started to grow more, and one day, apart from playing tennis, I saw an organ, a Hammond organ. That's the one with the 2 keyboards and the bass pedals, which you play with the feet. And I bought this organ.
But this was around the 80s, right?
Yes. At that time, of course, technology was totally different. There was... These were the first electromechanic instruments which you had, the Hammond organ or the electric piano from Rhodes. And I was also, of course, I did an apprenticeship as an electromechanic, and after this apprenticeship as electromechanic, I did study electrical engineering. Mm-hmm. Before I did this, I had to go to the military service.
This is in Switzerland very common with about 20, right?
With about 20, you had to go to the military service. These days, you don't have to go anymore. You can do some civil service for more than 1 year. So I had to go for 17 weeks to the military service. I was a nurse there, okay? So I was trained to nurse people in the military, which was nice. And the commander of the group, about 300 soldiers, he wanted to build a band for the company. He wanted to build a band. So he was asking, do we have any musicians here? And I thought, okay, my organ playing is not the best, but for the military it should be okay. And if I claim that I am an organist, maybe I can play and don't have to go to the fighting course wherever or rob in the mud. Mm-hmm. So I said, yes, I can play the organ. And we were lucky because we built, I think, a 5-piece band then. We had the drums, we had the bass player, we had my original Hammond organ, and we had a brass player. I think it was a trombone player. So we got time to practice every day, like 2-3 hours. The soldiers had to do some other bullshit.
Some ugly work.
Clean the pistols and the guns, or learn how to inject needles into the arms. And we were able to practice our repertoire for the Parents' Day, when the parents came to look what their soldiers, their young soldiers, learn in the military service. So we had to play our repertoire there. And the good thing was that the bass player, he was studying jazz music at the University of Bern, the Jazz Academy of Bern. He was studying this on the piano and on the bass, and he was much further than me in his musical development. So I did learn a lot. At that time I understood how to improvise, and I understood more about playing together in a band. So that was a very good time. And the drummer, he was already like in a professional level. And he did see we had a very good time during this time, during this service, military service, and he did see that I like to do the music and I'm good. So he asked me if I wanted to be the keyboarder in their band. And that was a melodic rock band called Asylum. So 3 months after the military service finished, I did practice in this band, and we already had our first concert in a club called Atlantis in Basel. And this club, Atlantis, at that time was world famous. There were big names playing there. And if you could play there, of course, you had already some kind of niveau and standard within the musical community. So this was my start in a band as professional musician.
So quite a straight start.
Yes,
with the
very
Atlantis,
fast,
yeah.
very straight, and then I was in. I was connected to the music virus, and I never left this virus until the year 2013, which we will talk about later. Yes, after this, I changed to a band that was, part of it was the same musicians, called Stepping Out. This was jazz rock, jazz funk, and we did pretty well. We were invited to play at the Jazz Festival Montreux, also a long time ago.
Also a very well-known name.
Yes, Jazz Festival Montreux. And after this, the Stepping Out band, I think, went on for 3 years or something, and then a guy called Mark Dean contacted me, and he was into rock and roll music. And that's him, by the way, Mark Dean. He's doing now German Schlager. He's the same age like me, I think maybe 1 year older like me. And but he's still doing rock and roll, but in German, in the German language, the German way. And he was always very focused on being successful in the music business. He did also play together with the original Elvis Presley musicians.
Okay, so he had already some network.
He had already good connections to the music industry, yes, and good experiences, and already also good concerts. And with him, I went to the next level. We started to go to musical fairs. It's called MIDEM. That's like, it's in Cannes in France, and it's like the film festival of Cannes, which is world famous, and in the music industry, it's the MIDEM, which is also world famous if you are in the music industry. So we went there, and you need to pay a lot of money to get in because they don't want anybody there. They want people that are determined to be professional musicians. And of course, you should not show up there if you don't have, if you are not already a good musician. You need to be prepared for this, and you need material. You need demo material, which is good.
Did you had something with you already at that time?
Yes, of course we did produce demo material. That time was totally different. We had, you had no digital recording. It was analog recording with the tape recorders. And to take a picture, analog picture taking, everything very complicated. To do flyers, print out, do the layout, everything very complicated. But we did it. So we had flyers, and there was no CDs, there was tapes.
The classical tapes.
The classical tapes. So we went there with the tape, with the flyer, and there was the phone number. But there was no mobile phone. There was a phone number from the Swiss booth where we had a secretary, and if somebody was interested in our demo material, they did call the Swiss booth. And then the secretary, we went there, we were there sitting, and then she said, hey, did somebody call for you? So, you have to imagine you are, I don't know, 10,000 musicians, everybody with the demo material, giving away to the top managers of the world and the top artists and relation managers of the world, that because they are all looking for new artists, new music. But everybody is running around like crazy, and they put it in the letterboxes from these publishing companies. So we also did this. Later on, we put CDs in the letterboxes, hundreds of CDs. But first you have to go through the catalog, because you have to find the people and the labels that are on the same musical style that you are. You cannot send a rock and roll production to a heavy metal label. So first you need the first 2-3 days you go and find out who could be interested in your music. And this was without internet. So it was all in the paper catalog. Aha, this label is doing rock and roll, okay. So we also put in the letterbox our demo material to a guy called Guy Fletcher. And we knew that this Mr. Guy Fletcher, he did write songs for Elvis Presley. He's an English guy, but he did write songs for Elvis Presley. He did also write songs for Ray Charles. He did also have been the manager of Chris de Burgh. He did also work together with Cliff Richard.
So quite a known name.
Extremely high-level contact. And Mark said, oh, Elvis Presley, easy, we do rock and roll Elvis Presley. And then all of a sudden, we went to the booth, to the Swiss booth, and the secretary said, Mr. Guy Fletcher did call. He gave us his number. Not a mobile phone. The number in the Majestics Hotel, in his room. Because the high-level managers, producers, and so on, they are not in the fair with the regular musicians. They have the A&R managers, artist repertoire managers, that look for them, what could be interesting. They bring it to the hotel room. They look at these hundreds of demo tapes. And then they say to the assistant, okay, call this guy. So he said, you need to call Mr. Guy Fletcher. Eh? And then we did call, regular phone. Hello, this is Guy Fletcher. Can you come to the Majestics Hotel? And then you already like...
you got a little bit nervous.
Exactly. And then only we knew how this is working. You need to learn a lot about this network and about this industry. When you start for the first time, you don't know that important people, they sit in the luxury hotels. Later on, after the years, we did not even go a lot of times into the halls because we knew that the important people are probably not walking around in the hall. So we spent a lot of money in the lobbies of the Ritz-Carlton, where a beer costs 12 Swiss francs at that time, 30 years ago. Spent a lot of money to hang out in the lobby and just talk to people. Hello, what are you doing here, and so on. And then, if you're lucky, you meet somebody very important. This happened several times to us. Yeah, so with this Guy Fletcher, really, he said rock and roll is good, and our idea was to produce a rock and roll Christmas CD. Rocking around the Christmas tree. And then we thought, okay, when we have this CD, we go on Christmas rock and roll tour. And Guy Fletcher thought this is a good idea. Let's produce this in London. This was then a CD. At that time you could...
I think this is your first CD, right? You want to present?
Maybe not the first, but the first important, the first on a really
international
level, right. And funny story about this, an album, to produce it like this, we did the pre-production here in this studio. Guy Fletcher came here. He flew over from London. We played here, we did the planning and so on. At that time, this studio did not look like this. It was really, okay, we thought, oh, this guy is coming to our little whatever home studio. Oh, he will take the flight back. But he was a very nice guy. We had a perfect time. And so we did the pre-production of these songs here in this studio. And then we took the digital tapes over to London. So the pre-production maybe takes 3 months. And then you fly over to London. And at that time, the digital tapes, this was like a videotape. And you had a backup copy. So all the tapes were like 2 big rucksacks. And we could not, because it was too dangerous. If something happens to these recordings, all is done. So we took it with us into the cabin. It was heavy, it was big, we took it with us into the cabin. The original copy and the backup copy, already digital. So then we flew over there to London. I think it was July, mid-summer, 40 degrees hot in London, recording studio, no air conditioning, and we had to record a Christmas album. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Okay.
With 40 degrees.
Yes, we almost got crazy. It was very tough. I think we did work for 1 week. This was only the mix down and the backing vocals, because all the pre-production we did. We had a lot of stress. We had technical problems. That's more or less normal. And it was hot. It was summertime. So this was quite an experience. And there also we thought, okay, let's write one of our own songs for this album. And this is one song which I wrote. It's called Christmas Party in an Igloo. And I think we should listen to this song now.
Yes.
It's very
Let's
funny.
listen to it.
And it's shortly before Christmas, probably, what we do now. And we listen to it. By the way, when Guy Fletcher heard these lyrics from this song, he was always laughing because I think it's not really English. But it's a fun text.
Was preparing for a bird. The bird of a child who makes us all party. The bird of Jesus who makes us all happy. The bird of a child who makes us all party. The bird of Jesus who makes us all happy. It was Snowball, Eskimo, decorating his home for the big party in his igloo to come. Children, fishermen, the penguins and the iceberg coming together, celebrating it day. Children, fishermen, the penguins and the iceberg coming together, celebrating it. And then when drinks are cold and the walls are melting, kids, man, penguins and the iceberg shaking their legs to rock and roll beat. That's a Christmas party in an igloo that's here. That's a Christmas party in an igloo that's here.
No, my son Linus was not born
Was not born at that time.
at that time, but I was already married to his mother. And yes, of course, when he was born, then they loved to listen every Christmas
To that
this
song.
not only to that song, to the whole album. Also, Naomi, my daughter, also loved to listen to this Christmas rock and roll CD. And also, the daughter of Guy Fletcher did also, because she was 14 when she sang on this track. I think there were children here, right? She did sing.
Ah, she did sing too.
Yeah, and Guy told me, "Hey Thomas, I have to listen to these songs every Christmas." So already this had a big impact.
So where we can buy or listen to that music? Is it?
It's on iTunes.
It's on iTunes.
Spotify now. The CDs are not ordered anymore. Yeah, but you can probably find it. Mark Dean, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree.
Okay, so you continued your production with Mark Dean. And then, how long did you work with Mark Dean together?
A few years. It was very successful. We did a rock and roll Christmas tour. We did some Christmas shows. We did some rock and roll shows, and then we changed into country rock.
Okay.
And this was pretty successful.
It was quite new at that time, no?
What?
The country rock.
Could be. Could be that it was like a movement in Switzerland. Country was big at that time. We did play at the Klewenalp Country Festival, which is, I think, still European known. We did play at the Klewenalp Country Openair. It was very nice. Over the Vierwaldstätter See, Klewenalp, nice. 3,000 people. You could watch down on the lake. It was very nice. We did play in the Risiko TV show, a Monday evening TV show with 1 million spectators per show.
Okay.
For Switzerland, this is huge. With Gabriela Amgarden. If you look on YouTube, you can find me very young playing the blues harp in this in this TV show. So we did country rock. Yeah, pretty successful. But then I also started to, because I was pop, funk, I also had my own band. I started to have my band with the godmother of Linus, called Jaywalk, which is this here. It was a very nice band. We did a lot of songs, also concerts. And then I had to decide one day, do I want to, because here I was the band leader and I composed everything, and with Mark Dean we did more or less reproduce hits.
Yeah, okay.
So this was my own music. So I took the decision, I said, dear Mark, he was very sad when I told him this. We are still in connection, and sometimes we do some little productions together. I stop, I do my own stuff now.
You had the urge really to produce your own music.
Yes, I had the urge to go the hard way. Because if you reproduce world hits with a good singer, it's 1,000 times easier than producing original material with nobodies. But I thought this is my way. And this is how I started my way to be a composer, producer, by myself, band leader. But in public there was not the Thomas Schauffert name, there was Jaywalk, there was the artist name, there was the band name. So this was also a huge development. And then the singer of this first Jaywalk band stopped singing, and I put together another Jaywalk band formation, that was this one. And there for the first time showed up Heinz Ersam, which had a very important role in my musical career later on. And also at that time my son Linus came to Earth. Yeah. So
had it any influence in your production?
My son?
Yes, that your son got born?
At that time, not yet.
Not yet. Later on?
I think he was too young. There is a picture with a beetle where he is pushing the beetle car, and I think at that time he was 1 year old. He could hardly walk. It's a funny picture, but it took 2 or 3 more years till he really could be like an active part into music, creating music. But then after this Jaywalk album, yeah, something important happened between this album and then the next album for live. Because we were always in this professional league, also with these productions. We did talk to the professionals, we got to know many other names that are not known to the public, like Shelley Sondheim, which was also a music producer. He is the son of Stephen Sondheim, who did write the West Side Story, which is of course a huge world success. So also top level producers. He lives in LA. We did get to know in this network, in this professional network, we got to know and become friends with Ewald Pfleger, who is the band leader and from Opus, and he did also write this evergreen world hit, Life is Life, Life is Life, da 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 da. So they had the luck, and we did talk to him, of course, how this works, because we wanted to learn about the music industry. And he said, of course, if you have the luck to produce an evergreen like this, I mean, this song will be played forever, and it has been covered in every country and so on, then you don't have money problems anymore. But an evergreen you cannot plan.
Yeah, it happened.
It happens, you cannot plan. Yeah, and then we got to know Cornelius Kreusch, who was a Steinway jazz pianist, official Steinway jazz pianist. We did German productions in German language, pop productions. We had here, as a producer in the studio, I had here several stars from Switzerland, and I had some other great musicians from more or less all around the world here. We were working together. We did productions for Japan. There is a little gold CD back there with Sundra at that time.
Do you have a special connection to Japan?
No, this just happened.
Yeah, just has happened.
It just happened. All of a sudden we got a phone call that they sell a lot of this production in Japan.
Okay.
And that's it. This can happen any day to me because I have 150 songs out there in the world.
Already?
Yes. It's just, and that's the important thing. It has to be out there on a professional level. And after this, God will decide what happens. Of course, if you do active marketing, you can help a little bit, but this I stopped doing this.
You were talking about active marketing. So as I heard that you went every year to the Medem to present your news production. So is it like part of the game, or how does it happen?
You need to go every year. If you don't show up every year, then you're not professional.
Okay.
And you need, not only every year, you need to be in contact with your network. Like in every business. If you don't have a business network, if you don't have connections, you don't have a business. And that's the same there. And you need to go to the fairs, and this costs money, marketing. You need, like in every other business, if you don't have a booth and you don't have, now it changed because you have the internet and you don't need to be physical that much anymore. But at that time, you need to be there.
During the preparation of this talk, I was listening through your music, and I sensed a difference of the first years until this CD. It was more produced for the outside, like for the public. And suddenly there was a change in your kind of music. So I'm very curious what happened there. So what happened that you changed your music and you were playing more like inside music?
So till then, we did produce commercial music with the goal to make a lot of money and become famous, more or less. So it was partly, and not with a small part, ego-driven. And then around this time also happened the divorce from my first wife. And for sure, this divorce made me think about life, love, and music, and my future life. So, of course, Heinz, my musical friend, he knew also about this divorce, and we did talk about life and the world and so on. And there was also my brother, who was always complaining that the music is great and the talent is great and so on, but it is not the right energy. He said he is very religious. He said it's satanic music. At first I did not believe it, but then I started to read the signs. And yes, we did learn, we did wake up. Heinz also, that was good. We did realize that a lot of the entertainment industry wants to attract the people to the music make them addicted, make them addicted to watching TV, make them addicted to watch series. It's always like binding the fan base to your product. And this, we then found out, this is not right. This is not freedom. This is not free will from the listeners. It's not free art. It's not that the artist creates music or something visual and just creates it and gives it to the universe. And then the universe can decide if they want to watch it, to listen to it or no. And if they don't listen, the artist is not disappointed because he doesn't care about if the surrounding likes it or not, because he is a creator.
Like an unconditional love?
Like unconditional love, unconditional art.
Okay.
And this is then, with this conscience, we started to produce a different kind of music. This free art, of course, is nothing new. Also in the music genre is nothing new. Maybe free jazz goes in this direction. They feel something totally different, and only a few people can feel the same.
But when I listen, so I hear that you studied something. So is it based on a theory where you inspired by a certain type of music or person?
So after this divorce, or during the process of this divorce, I was thinking and researching a lot, and I did study mental coaching. I got into spiritual events, seminars, team events, light body events, angel events. I just wanted to find out more. At the beginning, I thought my goal is to be enlightened.
Okay.
Now it's not my goal anymore. I just say I am enlightened. So that's not the goal. That's a being, a state of being. That's it.
Okay.
It can be very simple if you make it simple in your head. And then I did study the laws, the universal laws or the divine laws, together with Heinz. The divine laws of creation and love and vibration and resonance. Everything is sound. And one book that was very important on this path is this book here, The Power of Sound.
What does it mean, power?
In this book, he describes the real power of sound, the power of the word, the power of music, the power of rhythm. What can you do with this? You can do more or less everything. It's said that God created the universe by speaking, by the word. First there was the word, and then la la la. And he, on a scientific level, in this book, and there are many other books also, of course, did describe this, and I did learn about this. Why is music so powerful? Why is the word so powerful? Why can the word, when I say I love you, why can it make you cry? Why can I make you cry when I play a nice song for you? And it's very hard to make you cry if I paint something for you. It's hard. It's probably impossible. But with words and music, I can make you cry. I can touch you directly in your heart. This is described in this book.
Is this based also on the frequencies, 432 hertz?
That's also a topic, of course, in this whole thing. There is There is another book that influenced me and us a lot, and that is the book from mathematics from Switzerland called Gusto. The book is called The Cosmical Octave, and he's a mathematics, and he did compare all the frequencies in the universe. For example, the frequency of the Earth around the Sun is 1 time every 365 days. That's a very low frequency. You cannot hear this frequency, but you can see it if you have enough time. Very low frequency. But now if you double this frequency, this is called octaving. Then you come to a higher frequency. You double it again, make another octave, you double it again, and then you come into the audible frequency range, which starts around 20 hertz. So you can say because the octave is from the energy the same, it's just on a different frequency level, but it's the same. It's very hard to say which octave it is if it's the same note. The low C and the high C is very hard to distinguish if you're not trained. So then you can connect every frequency in the audible range to, for example, the frequency of the planets, because they turn all in a certain frequency, and they also turn around the sun in a certain frequency. Then you can say, okay, this note, musical note, is connected and then starts to vibrate and resonate with the planet Mercury, for example. So this is how you can connect the music with creation. You can go also up. You can connect a color of a rose. This rose, for example, you can connect this red to an energy of a sound. Or you can connect this color composition to an energy of a sound, of a note. You can connect the color of this nice shirt to an energy. That's also science. It's nothing new, actually. You know that orange is doing this, and green is doing that, and red is doing this. This is probably most of the people know nowadays.
So this science influenced also your creation of music?
Yes.
And
so the conscience...
I saw that the first song is also called Merkur.
Exactly. So this song was created here, up to here. We were thinking, money, 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 become famous. Okay? We were thinking, what makes the people dance? What makes the people sad? What makes the people want to make sex? What makes the people want to drink a lot for the bar? This was business creating. And it's not free, because it's manipulating. What can I do to make you drink? What can I do to seduce you? That's not free. And here, we did not think anything. Only, is it according to the divine laws? There are several different laws. And then you can say, okay, Merkur, there is a table here from this mathematic, and you can look here, Merkur, where is the glasses? Merkur has a frequency of 66.22 beats per minute. It's connected already to the music. And there's also written here, divine rhythms with the cosmic pendulum. And then you can octavate this again, 66.22 beats per minute, and then you come to 132.44 beats per minute.
Can we listen to that song to get an impression?
The song Merkur, I'm not sure but probably it has a frequency beat per minute of 132.44 or 66.22. Let's see if I find it.
So we get a good impression on the song, how you explained it with the
Yes.
frequencies.
Okay, we listen to this song, Merkur, from the planet Merkur.
So this song was very playful. How does this new style continued now with your friend Heinz?
So from then on we called it world music. We were very much influenced, for example, by Andreas Vollenweider, the Swiss great harp player.
Did you meet
But-
him?
No, never in person. We were in contact with his management, but never in person. And of course, Youssou N'Dour then influenced us, the world musicians. Yeah. So, and then the universe of world music is huge. In pop music, you have either electronic synthesizer, or in a regular band, you have bass, drums, keyboards, vocals, and guitar. That's it, more or less. And maybe you have trumpets. But in world music, you have the style of the whole world, and also the instruments and the sounds of the whole world. And there are over 13,000 instruments in the world. Not only if you take a classical orchestra, maybe you have 30 different instruments, but there are many more. So we opened up our spirit, and we started to research and look at different sounds and different instruments.
You started also to integrate new instruments like the hung and the cajon, right?
Yes, the cajon we used already in this CD, on the 4 Live CD, which was the first CD in the new style of music. And this also changed the network where we were communicating to and the people where we were working with. We still went to meet them, but there was also like people interested in this music, in the world music. Not that much. We found out later that in this area of world music or meditative music and inspiring music, you have different labels, you have different markets, you have different fairs. And the biggest fair for world music is the so-called World Music Expo, WOMEX in short. And then we went there to make our new connections. And this was the reason how we got to know then our new record label Polyglobe, which then produced this CD with us, Good Morning. And inspired us, then came to us the hang. After this work, maybe this is, I don't know, 2-3 years, a hang instrument came to me.
So at that time it was a quite famous instrument, right?
Yeah, I think it still is. It was developed in Bern, Switzerland.
So a Swiss product, by the way.
It is a Swiss product, and hang means hand in Swiss German. And it's played with the hand, with the hand. And the record label, Polyglobe, said, do something with these instruments because it's famous at the moment and it touches the hearts of the people.
I remember the people, they were stopping on the streets to listen to the musician playing the hang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a really inspiring, touching instrument. So then we developed in free art, in unconditional art, and we said, okay, with this hang, let's do something totally free. It was like free jazz. It was Heinz and me sitting here in the studio for a few months, and of course not every day, experimenting with our spirit, what comes to us, and at the same time recording. So this albums here was more like a classical process of composition, and this here was more like channeling or improvisation, and then from this seed what we get from the creator or from creation or from universe, this seed, we make this seed grow. It's a sound seed what you get, and then we made it grow. And this is how this album actually came to life. And it's called Open Spirit because it opens the spirit, and only people with an open spirit will really understand what it is and what it can do. And also the length of the songs is totally different. The regular songs, they are between 3 and 5 minutes, most of them. And on this CD, we were totally free. We said we just finish when we want to finish. So the title song of this album is 10 minutes, over 10 minutes.
Which is quite long, right?
Which is quite long, and it has a lot of changes. And I think we should listen to this title song now.
Yes, I'm very curious.
Okay.
So this music was quite meditative and it takes you into another world. So how do you integrate your emotions when you are creating your music? Do you need certain kind of emotions to create music? Or if you are sad or angry, do you work through by creating music?
I did this a lot of times before, but in this open spirit, it's a different emotion. It's not my emotion. When we did produce it, we did get goosebumps. That's it. There was no emotion connected to any other person. But before, and only one or two compositions after, they were of course connected to stories about love and sadness. And I'm not sure if I want this again. I'm not sure if the music will be my healer tool again. At the moment, I'm not sure about this. I had few songs, of course, the song which I wrote for my children, Son of God, Good Night Naomi, which are directly related to emotions and to people, to persons, to humans. There is a song called Love, 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 which is directly connected to somebody who did not love me, who left me, and then instead of doing a party during my birthday, 29 December, I decided to be sad and go here to my studio.
Sad and creative.
Exactly. Sad and creative, and came here to create this song, Love, Love, Love. This was already about unconditional love, because I had to learn that if somebody leaves you, it doesn't mean that the love is gone. I had to learn that love cannot be taken away. Love is. It's the biggest that is. People can go away, but we don't have to think that you lose them or you lose their love. That helped me a lot. And this song, Love, 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 is about transforming these emotions, what I had inside, into freedom. Let them go, love them, let them go like an egg, let them go. If they want to come back, they come back, and let them go. So that's yes, how this song Love, Love, Love was created. And then there is this song, which we come later to. Only a few songs are really related to human stories for me, especially now in these days, because I don't want to give the power of my emotions to the outside anymore. When I create, I want to be totally free, and then I create. And not something in the outside happens, and this influences my creativity inside. This is for sure my goal, and this is what I tried over the last few years already to do this. There were a few songs that are influenced from outside, from persons, but we will come to this later.
If we talk about now your newer production, also with Heinz together, did you had also concerts?
Yes, so we went on this professional level, and of course we wanted to become more known with our music, because you have to communicate, you have to put it out there, of course. But it was more or less, we just did it, we put it out there as good as possible, but we did not have any expectations of resonance. If a resonance is happening, then it's fine. So the resonance was happening, and with this album, Between Here and Here, we did our first DVD production, video of a live concert, which was a huge project.
The whole technical situation changed also very fast the last years.
Yes, for us, the technical situation changed, and it was possible to produce a DVD. Before, it was almost not possible. Only the big labels and the big artists could do a TV production of a concert. But now it was possible. That was in the year 2008, for example, 2006, I think this was. So this was possible, and we did this DVD, which was a big project, which was good for us, and we created more light, more sound, and of course then visual became very important. We had to get a director for the stage planning, for the visual planning. We had a director for the cameras, of course, to plan everything, which camera does at which time, which take. That was a different level. So first you need to have the music, and then you need to have more. And so that was nice, was successful. We were here at least on the local TV stations. They played our concert several times. And then we developed further, and we had the goal to create this very big concert on 22nd December 2012.
What a number.
What a number, numerologically important number, and for the people who remember about this Maya calendar story, some people thought the world will end at that date. We knew it probably will not end, but it's energetically an important date, and we want to create a sound and light event, a powerful sound and light event at that date. So we rent a big, more or less big, but nice theater in Basel here called the Scala, with 400 seats, and it was sold out more or less. It was nice. At Christmas time, 22nd December. It was a high risk. But we were pretty well known at that time, so we did this concert. And it was nice. As you can see, we created wonderful pictures, wonderful music, and we brought it to the next level because we invited world music. We invited musicians from all over the world, more or less. We had India, we had Thailand, Bangkok, we had, of course, Switzerland, we had a mixed Chinese who we flew in from Atlanta, USA, and we had here Akos, the saxophone player from Budapest. So that was a very nice setup with 6 musicians, and you were also there, you remember? And
yeah, I remember very well.
It was a nice concert. And also, next level, we did a live audio recording of the full concert, which is very complicated. At that time it was more complicated. These days it's more easy. So we did this, the concert was fine, everything was good, everybody was happy, but then I think after Christmas, December 26 or something, Heinz called me, my musical partner, who was working with me successful for 10 years, from here to here for 10 years. We loved each other, we developed each other together. And he called me and said, Thomas, I'm finished. It's it. That's it. It's over. I stop. That was like my first divorce. My wife told me, it's over. We stop.
So you felt the same.
I felt the same. And this is always a discussion with the wife and with the women around the musician. If you have a really musical partner, there is always, not always, but many, many times there is a problem of jealousy between the women. They cannot understand, most people cannot understand how can a guy like me invest so much time in music. And this was also a reason why Heinz had to stop, probably. So, but also the musical partner, the music. Sometimes the question comes up: is the music more important than the wife or the family?
So maybe we go then. What happened afterwards? You were disappointed. You were sad. I mean, a long friendship broke. What happened then with you?
I had the recordings, I had the photos, the picture, everything. We had the contract with the label. I was shocked. And then I said, okay, it's not possible that this recording and the photos and the film cannot go out. Because this was the whole reason we did it. So I had to talk. I did not talk to Heinz directly. Over the label, we did talk to each other. I said, okay, can I use it? Can I finish it? He said, yes, I want my share. So like this, we found a solution. I did not talk to him directly. We did this contract. Okay, I finished it. So I finished it by myself. And then there was this discussion, can I use the photos? La, 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 many discussions. I could use it. So 1 year later, the album production was finished. I finished all the audio. The label did the design of the album booklet, and it was released. This was a very tough time. I was really lonely here in my studio, mixing down these tracks after the concert and working on the release of this album. But this is how I am. If I say something, I start something, then I finish it. Then I finish it. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Maybe even if it takes 3 years. If I say, for example, I do a documentary about my work, I do it. Maybe not tomorrow, but I will do it. So I have a few points which I know exactly they will happen.
So,
and this is how I finished. But then after this, I was in total musical depression. I stopped touching the piano, and this was a shock. 2012, 1980, that's like 32 years, 31 years, full energy, music. Every day practicing.
And suddenly it stopped.
And suddenly stopped. It was not me that stopped. It was something in me that did not want. It was not totally gone, but it was gone. It was not totally gone. Thanks God it was not totally gone.
Otherwise we wouldn't sit here and talk about your musical career, right?
Yes.
So it took you as kind of work to go through how did you took yourself out of this depression?
I was introduced to Christian Kusch, who offered a carpenter, is that right? A woodworker? The guy who made all this nice table, this nice chair, and gave it to us for this talk now. And he offered to the people to create their own chair. And the label is called Sit Like You Wish. Mm-hmm. So the people, they come there and they create their chair, tailor-made on their size of the body, with their design, their spirit. And I thought, yeah, that's a good idea, let's do this. Mm-hmm. And this is how it happened that this nice chair here came into life. And it was not music energy, it was tough, rough, sweaty, raw energy what you needed. Muscles, pain in the arms. And this brought me back into the energy. This chair and this work with Christian Kusch brought me back to the energy. Brought me back into creation. Solid, grounded creation. And then I had this wooden piece. And then it started to think again, okay, now I have this nice chair, what can I do? And then the energy came and said, I can make an egoneration of the chair. I do a concert where I...
So you came back into this
exactly,
energy.
where I dedicate the concert or this event more or less to this chair. Mm-hmm. So this is how a series of concerts came to life, which was called World Music Dinner. Mm-hmm. And also at that time, I got to know Paco Mbassi. Mm-hmm. This is where I really, because until here I did a lot in Europe, influence, Asia influence, but not really African influence. Mm-hmm. So Paco came to me, and he is a fantastic percussionist and marimba and kalimba player from Cameroon. Mm-hmm. And he was playing with me in this World Music Dinner concerts. And then also we took the decision to produce an album together called The Sound of Nature. So then I was in the creative process again.
So now I'm getting very curious. Can we listen to one of those songs?
Yes. So this Sound of Nature. What you also see, I cannot show you a CD. Mm-hmm. Because technology changed over time. And from here to here, CD disappeared. So from now on, everything is on Spotify, YouTube, or iTunes.
Okay.
That's it. And this music, yes, is the combination of my Flügelhorn. This is also very important. The Flügelhorn is used here also. Here a little bit and here a little bit, but not too much. But here, it really got like a main role, like a solist hard instrument. Mm-hmm.
So you started with this trumpet, and you are reintroducing the trumpet, the importance of your trumpet.
Yes, and I also started to play the trumpet. You have to imagine I stopped playing the trumpet at age 14. Mm-hmm. And I don't forget, for me, I never forget what I learned, more or less. I don't forget.
It's like bicycle driving.
Exactly. So I only had to practice a little bit, and then I was there again. Mm-hmm. I started, I think I was 42, 43 when I started again to play the trumpet, so 30 years later. Mm-hmm. I like to do this. Many people maybe are afraid to do this and think, oh, if you don't play the trumpet for 20 years, then you cannot be good anymore. No, I have a totally different thinking. So I started to play the trumpet, and it became my heart instrument. It's not the instrument that I play the best, but it's the instrument which I play the most connected to my heart. The piano I play also very connected to my heart. So yes, and then the Sound of Nature album is this combination of my flugelhorn together with this African vibe of Paco and Bassi and some of keyboard playing. And we listen to a song now. It's called Cry in the Sand.
I like the combination of the more European sound of the trumpet and the African rhythm. So this is quite very alive. So after this production with Paco, what happened then to your production?
Then, because that was also hard, because I liked Paco a lot and we had a lot of fun. He had to leave Switzerland.
Okay.
He was like a musical friend also, like Heinz a little bit. He had to leave Switzerland because of this stupid slavery paper system we have in this world. And he left. I had no more music friend, more or less. And then I thought, okay, I'm alone. Let's play solo piano.
Okay.
I never did this. So, and this is a development. You always play with a band, you produce a band, you are never alone on stage, and then all of a sudden you say, hey, I'm a pianist. I go alone and I play for the people. And this is what I did several times. I had one nice concert in Bangkok in a small club, very beautiful. And then I said, okay, let's record the piano pieces that I played during these solo piano concerts. But really, because at these concerts I also improvised a lot and a lot of inspiration and so on. But when you do a recording, you have to grab it and put it down. So this was a process. And I did it. So then I released this album, Solo Piano. And the start for this was a song called Para Enúsia. Para Enúsia is Portuguese, that means for Enúsia. Enúsia is a woman's name from a beautiful woman, which is in real life existing, and this song is for her. She doesn't know that this song is for her. And this song reminded me, I was very much inspired by Beethoven's Moonlight Sonate. And it's also simple. I think it has a lot of emotions. And that was the first song which I said, okay, this is solo piano, Thomas Schauffert. And maybe we listen to this.
Yeah.
Huh?
Can we listen to it?
Exactly.
So what a dreamy music. So you produced this CD with those songs, and
I put it out on Spotify,
Okay.
iTunes, YouTube. And then somebody commented on YouTube, do you have sheet music of this piano music? And I thought, huh? Somebody wants to play my piano music? Wow, good.
that's a good reaction.
Exactly. Because the other pop songs, they were played by several artists all around the world, reproduced and so on. But just something simple, written with notes on paper, did not exist from me. I thought, that's nice, let's do this. And I was looking for somebody who can write the notes. Because I could, but I'm not a specialist in it, so it would take me too much time. I was looking maybe for 1 year to find the right person to do it, and now I found it. And actually today, I have the
Wow.
10 songs, and I will make a booklet of it, and it will be available. The 10 piano songs ready to be played by people that can read the notes.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and that's really great. It's also a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time to make this happen, but now it's here and forever. For
Perfect.
eternity.
Yeah.
And maybe when I'm dead, Para Inusia will become the second Moonlight Sonate. Who knows? But now it's there. That's nice. And this is also, of course, why we do this talk here.
When I'm looking back, I see also the paper that you were creating like the World Music Festival, and I see that you try to integrate all the different influences of the countries, like African, Asia, European, American, South and North American. So this is a beautiful mix of different influences that you are creating together, music. This is absolutely beautiful.
That's good. Yes, I mean, that's my goal, to bring the world together by music, and that is also why I created the brand and the Basel World Music Festival. My big goal is to bring the World Music Expo to Basel, bring music from all around the world and show it to the people, not only punk, funk, soul and deep house. There's so much more out there in the world. And this is something that will hopefully happen still in my lifetime, that this Basel World Music Festival is getting bigger again. It was a little bit big here, but then came Corona, and I hope it will grow again.
So what is your latest production? Was it the piano production, or did you produce something else?
After the solo piano, I thought, how can I use the energies of the pop productions, which are not free, they are manipulative? How can I use these sounds and not be free in what I produce?
Like in also the other frequencies?
Use the different tempis, different frequencies, and don't think about what will it do to the listener. The regular pop productions are always made with an intention, and then I said, okay, let's do a lounge album that is modern and free. And this is what I did the last year, or maybe the last 2 years. 10 songs. It's only called Lounge 20. And the songs don't have names. They have numbers.
So can you show us your favorite?
Yes. It's modern boof, 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 bass drum beats and modern sounds, a combination with the Flügelhorn, and a lot of inspiration. This is Lounge 20, number 7.
So this music is has a funny touch. So where does it come from?
It's a combination of experiences what I had with music from Cap Verden. That's an island group to the left, to the west of Africa border, in the middle height of Africa. And then from the other side comes the influence, the melody is Oriental, Balkan, and then, yeah, it's the mix. So the creation, of course, it comes from experiences. There it's more like taking bits and pieces and put them together. It's not like Open Spirit where you leave everything open. This is more like taking experiences and putting them together into new pieces. And yeah, this is fun. So the journey goes on, and I don't know now, because with this documentary, I don't know really where my musical journey will go.
I mean, nowadays we need music which lifts us up, which is healing. And when I see your production also with the world music, with all the different influences of the whole world, I wish you a great creative time. And we are all looking forward to your next creation.
What I wish for myself, and I'm more or less sure it will happen, to create a new band. Thomas Schauffert and Friends.
So you want to call out for new friends to play?
Exactly. The friends did not show up yet, but they will show up.
So maybe after the talk.
Maybe after
you will
the talk.
be overwhelmed.
Exactly. They will show up, and then I will have the power to really create in a band together new music.
So if you want to also to participate to the world music and also to give in your influence with lots of unconditional love, you know where to ask for Thomas Schauffert.
Yes, I can do so.
So thank you very much, Thomas.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
We are looking forward to your next creation.
Thank you.